Hello.
If you don't stop bothering me about ratings, I swear to God, you're making me lose my mind.
I need ratings. Ratings.
For what?
I don't want to be underrated.
I don't need ratings. I personally have plenty of good self-esteem around this show. I think we're doing a good job.
We need people who listen, who say, hello, I love you.
For what?
Don't you want to be loved? I want to be loved. We are
Don't you love me?
Podcast lovable.
No. If you're listening to this really pathetic thing right now and you want to just stop, the easiest way to make that happen is to review the show and rate it on Apple Podcasts. He's not going to stop.
Your head.
He won't quit.
This is our moment. We need to have
rate the show, please. Okay, Adam,
what?
Knock it off.
Adam! Da?
Travis?
Что?
Whoa. Did it happen? Have we been hacked?
Maybe.
Is this Adam or is this...
You're wonderful, you're beautiful,
Okay,
I
it's
love you, you're wonderful.
What's up this week? Anything interesting happen in the news? I mean, I don't know, World War III or anything like that?
Russia's invasion of Ukraine showing no signs of slowing down.
Well, Travis, you sent us something that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it looks like the Conti ransomware gang is kind of all over the place. They are having some internal fighting, it looks like. Some people are claiming they've been hacked. They're having a very public squabble amongst themselves.
That's interesting because they are kind of the next version of sliced bread since Darkseid went quiet, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And they actually previously announced their support for Russia and the Russian government in their actions in Ukraine.
Are they Russian?
Presumably.
Well, they could be walking, but
No. That was terrible.
And it looks like some of their members are trying to walk back what they said, but
I'm not really following this. What happened exactly?
A Conti member apparently has leaked the data from the Conti ransomware gang, including evidence of some of their targets and hacks.
Why?
I think they're actually. It looks like they're divided over the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Wow. Huh.
You know, oftentimes hacking organizations do take the side of underdogs.
Right, and it's a lot of the hacking groups that we think of as being Russia-based are actually more Eastern European-based. So they could be across multiple countries. So you could have some people with allegiance to one specific country or one area, and others.
It could have Ukrainian members too. So
right, or it could end up being a really weird con on their part, just to say like, "Hey, we've leaked our data. Please download it."
Well, certainly if they say, and they did. In what we saw, it said, "Click this link for the data dump," and it's like,
no.
Everyone told us never click a link.
Yeah, don't click that link.
Yeah.
No, it sounds more like, like a South Park episode where like Stan's like, screw you guys, I'm going home. And, but one's home is Kharkiv and the other's is Moscow, and they're just not getting, not able to work together anymore. I mean, that seems like the most obvious answer.
Although there have been many people in Russia that once they kind of found out what was going on, if they were able to get enough information to find out what's going on, have been mortified by what's going on.
Yeah. And I think the thing that's interesting is there have been a lot of cases in the past where hacking groups have been attacking one another, and they're releasing their ransomware code, and they release decryptors from their competitors. This is the first time I've seen a major ransomware group having a very, very public internal squabble.
And an example of this is when certain hacking groups said that during COVID, they would not attack medical facilities or research facilities. And other hacking groups said, well, maybe you, not us.
Yeah, time will tell, ultimately. But for the time being, people are going over their chat logs because they're pretty extensive.
What are you seeing in there?
A lot of it is talking about their victims that we don't really know about yet. So there are a few things in there, a few companies that have been hacked, or at least they say they've been hacked.
Oh, God.
By the Conti gang that hasn't been made public yet, or they haven't struck yet.
Wait. Wait, so you're saying that these are companies that have already been affected by ransomware, but they haven't been attacked? That it's in place? No.
Right. So they're mentioned as victims or targets. So they might be future targets. They might be current targets that don't know about it yet. Again, it's still it's a lot to sort through, and it's I can't say with any kind of certainty because of the fact that these are they've been so tricky in the past that who knows. I'm interested in finding out, certainly.
Our episode today involves someone who was a guest here already, who really had things pretty well locked down, and all of a sudden, strange things started happening, coming from the land of, this is really tricky. I don't know.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme this week. What's happening? Don't ask me.
And with that, welcome to What the Hack, a show about hackers, scammers, and the people they go after. I'm Adam Levin, chairman of the Cyber Insecurity Guild Society.
I'm Bo Friedlander, plain old insecure about this part of the show.
And I'm Travis Taylor, CEO of the Grumpy Basement Dwellers.
Bo, Travis, and I created What the Hack with Adam Levin to share stories and provide the tips and tools necessary to better protect you, your family, and the nest egg you work so hard to build in a world filled with scammers, phishers, and identity thieves who are working around the clock to take it away. Our sponsor, Policy Genius, also works around the clock to protect you and your family by better educating you about the life insurance options available to you and giving you the platform to apply for the policy that best suits your needs. If someone relies on your financial support, whether it's a child, an aging parent, or even a business partner, you need life insurance. Life insurance can give you peace of mind that if something happens to you, your loved ones would have a financial cushion for rent or mortgage payments, loans, education costs, and everyday expenses. Having life insurance through your job may not be enough. Most people need up to 10 times more coverage to properly provide for their families. And typically, life insurance gets more expensive as you age. So it's smart to get a policy sooner rather than later. Here's how it works. Policy Genius is your one-stop shop to find and buy the insurance you need. Go to policygenius.com, click on the link, and answer a few questions. In minutes, you can compare personalized quotes from top companies to find your lowest price. You could save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. The team of licensed experts at Policy Genius will help you understand your options and apply for the policy you want. The Policy Genius team works for you, not the insurance companies. You can trust them to offer unbiased help and advocate for you at every step until you're covered. Head over to policygenius.com right now to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you can save.
I want to point out that if you listen to our holiday episode, we talked to we talked to a bunch of people who'd been on the show last year, and I think we took bets actually on who we thought was going to get hacked this year based on what they had told us, and we put dates on it, right? Travis, who was your sure thing gonna get hacked?
My sure thing was Roy. He really seemed like he was, about to get got. I think my prediction was by Valentine's Day.
Right. And Adam, who'd you have?
I think I had Roy.
You did. And I also had Roy. We had Roy because we were like, hey, Roy, so did you change your passwords? No.
No.
Do you turn off your computer at night? No.
No.
Have you changed anything?
No.
Nothing. So we were like, Roy, you're going to get hacked. And he was like, okay. We're like, we'll have you back on the show.
As it turns out, we were wrong. It's Noah Wilker who's back again. Noah, welcome back to What the Hack.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be back.
You? You were like the dude. Your wife works at Experian. You saw the scam on the boat thing coming from a mile away. You're the last person we thought would be back on the show.
You had the arc, Noah, and all of a sudden, the arc sprung a leak.
Okay.
What?
And no more jokes at Noah's expense. Now he's nodding. He's nodding. Nodding doesn't come across very well in audio. So what happened?
What happened? I mean, first of all, I am so sorry to let you down by being back on this show.
We love you. We're glad to have you
We
back,
love
but
you.
not under these
Luff.
circumstances.
Luff. Luff.
When I noticed the first clue, it was the first week of January, and we had just returned from the Galapagos in Ecuador. This was a credit card that I never ever use. I only used it in Ecuador because they didn't take American Express. So the credit card that I first noticed was compromised was my MasterCard. And I came home and I got immediate alerts from MasterCard saying, we've noticed suspicious activity. Please review this. And, we're looking into it. And this suspicious activity was the series of 1 cent charges
Yep.
at these online malls. And I thought, all right, that's clearly not me. They're handling it. What did not get my attention was the $1.25 charge at the U.S. Post Office. Then I just figured these are all really random charges. They're clearly not mine. They're handling it. The end.
Who's the they? The fraud department at MasterCard?
Citibank, right.
Citibank, okay.
So they said they would send me a new card. They were going to mail it. So I'm waiting for my new card and I'm waiting for my new card. And then 10 days goes by and I don't have this card. And so I called them back and they said, that's really strange. We mailed it out 10 days ago. We'll FedEx you one. I got it FedEx right away.
Yeah, you're home now. You're home now. They sent it to you at your home.
At home.
It landed where it was supposed to land.
From FedEx.
Got you.
Correct. It did not come in the mail. So then, 2 weeks later, we got a new utility bill with one of those yellow forwarding stickers on it.
Uh-oh.
So it was addressed to me. It came to me, but it had a yellow forwarding sticker on it. I didn't even notice it. And I just put it on the side. So
Did you see where it was being forwarded?
Well, I didn't even look at it. I didn't care. I was like, that's weird, but I got it. I couldn't understand.
Okay.
I did not compute anything at all.
Okay.
Because again, I had no idea what had happened to me on a large scale here. I'm going to get to that envelope in a minute, and we are putting a pin in it.
Pin in the envelope in Noah's cork.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Other than that, everything is life as usual. I'm cruising along. I'm out to dinner with my wife, and my cell phone's ringing and ringing, and I don't recognize it, but the call keeps coming, so I decide I should answer it. And it is a sales manager, and mind you, this is at 7:00 in the evening.
Yeah.
Sales manager at a Kia dealer up in Milford.
They should have known you'd never buy a Kia.
I don't know. Now I really want to, but I'll tell you the story. So this guy starts asking me really personal and strange questions urgently. Like, is this Noah Wilker? Mm-hmm. Yes. Who are you? He tells me he's a sales manager. His name is Dave or something at this dealer. Mm-hmm. And he asks me, what's my middle name? And where do I live? And so I'm like, I don't really know who you are. Why would I tell you these things? And he said, there is somebody in the dealer here claiming to be you. He has your driver's license. He has your social security number. We did a credit check on him, and something is not right. And we are calling you to make sure that this is you that I'm talking to.
Today's episode, it's sponsored by Honey. It's a shopping tool that scours the internet for promo tools and applies the best ones to your cart when it finds them. For me, I just bought some rubber shoes so that I could walk around in the mud more comfortably. And I went to a site and they asked me if I had a promo code, and I did. But it was because I wrote it down and I had to type it out. Well, Honey does all that work for you. It even finds it.
So has Honey saved you money? Honey?
Yeah, Honey saves you money. That's the thing. They support over 30,000 stores online. Travis, how does this stuff work? Is it really invasive or is it pretty chill on the privacy front?
On the privacy front, they're great. Their privacy policy says just outright that they will never collect and sell your data, which is great to have it be listed that in such basic and simple terms. But their revenue model does not depend on collecting your data like a lot of other services do. So their bona fides for privacy are great.
Honey has found its over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings.
If you don't have Honey already, you could be really missing out. It's literally free. It installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting our podcast. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/WTH. That's joinhoney.com/WTH. We all want love, that happily ever after feeling of finding your soulmate. But what if someone not only claimed they could help you find that perfect partner, they guaranteed it? Jeff and Shalia, a young couple famous on YouTube, teach about twin flames, a deep romantic connection with your perfect ultimate partner in their videos. It's divine love. You're designed for no one else, and they're designed for no one else. But the path to finding your twin flame isn't so simple. Some followers allege they were encouraged to cut ties with friends and family that were holding them back, and to claim their twin flame by stalking in any means necessary. By the time some members are able to leave the group, they don't even recognize themselves and claim the harassment to rejoin makes them fear for their safety. From Wondery, Twin Flames is a podcast about what happens when the quest for love turns into a dangerous obsession. Follow Twin Flames on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or you can listen early and ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.
Okay, and the perp had your driver's license. Did I hear you say that right?
You did. So he had my driver's license with his picture in it.
And your address.
It was my driver's license with his picture in it. So the hair was changed, the eyes were changed in the text. The picture was a red flag to the dealer because it was almost a full body picture. And
all right.
So the dealer called me up and he said, "Look, I know you don't know me. I know this sounds weird, but there's this guy's in here with all of your whole life and he's trying to buy a car and he wants to ship it to Columbus, Ohio." I thanked the person. I didn't really understand what was going on, but I went home. I got on Experian. I got on Equifax. I got on TransUnion.
Right.
I saw immediately that I was carrying a Bank of America credit card that I didn't open, a Chase credit card that I didn't open, and I panicked. And then the Kia, there were all of these credit checks from different credit card companies. So I went in immediately and I filed all these fraud claims. I froze my credit account, put a fraud alert on everything, and I got to work. And then I started to add it up, and then Rita came in with the envelope. And she said, the address on that envelope from the utility company with the forwarding was Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was like, no effing way.
What happened with the guy at the dealership? Did they call the cops or anything? Or?
I called the dealer back the next day and I asked them, the receptionist knew immediately what I was talking about and who had called me. And I asked them if they had called the police. Were there any cameras on the front of the building? Is there anything else? Did they get anything? No. There's no cameras in front of the building. No, they did not call the police. That's up to me if I want to do that.
It's so strange. They didn't have security cameras in the dealership.
That's very strange.
Huh.
They normally do.
It's unusual.
Yeah.
It's really unusual, and I'm not sure what that's all about. But
Yeah.
I called the Milford Police Department and told them immediately, like, this happened. Someone's walking around trying to buy a car in my name.
Right.
I'm sure there's cameras on the front of this place. Can you please go check it out? I'm basically reporting a crime. And they said, first of all, you're reporting an attempted crime, and you need to be reporting it to your local police department. And this starts my cycle of like complete dissatisfaction with law enforcement.
They don't want to do it. And the reason they don't want to do
No,
it
they
is
don't.
because it's like, if you go to the police department and they say, not my job, you say, I'm sorry, sir, because it's always a dude, you're going to have to do it. I'm convinced if it had been a female cop, she would have been like, I'll do my job. But the dude is like a lazy bum. And sorry, lazy bums out there, but you shouldn't be lazy.
Yeah.
So,
I got some traction at my local police department.
good.
A report was filled out. I showed them the envelope with the address. I showed them the picture of the dealer showed me a picture of the license that was presented.
Mm-hmm.
Basically my license with this fella's picture in it.
He had Xeroxed it.
And, he said, there's really not much we can do about this. And you shut down all your credit and do all the things with the credit reporting agencies I already did. They'll kick it up to the detective that handles this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Even if they say there's nothing I can do about it, your response at a credit reporting agency is you need a police report, even if they can't do anything about it, for the simple reason that this is additional documentary evidence that if you have to make your case anywhere, say, look, I reported it I've done this, and this. I have all of these records, and here's the police report.
As a matter of fact, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion can't do anything. They cannot even begin investigating until you present them with a police report.
So noted. That's absolutely right. You absolutely need to have a police report. I was lucky I have a case number. I have somewhere around here the police report. But that was very slow to come, and that didn't come for literally weeks. And now, I'm just sort of going through the motions. Where else do I need to go? The post office. I need to go to the post office and make sure my mail somebody forwarded my mail without me even knowing it. I got no notice that this happened. And that, guys, is a really scary piece of this. Somebody can forward your mail. They can do it online, and you'll never know about it.
Anyone
Yes,
can.
you're supposed to get a mail, like a notification to the original address.
When did you notice that your mail was being forwarded?
I didn't notice at all until I saw that envelope and Rita brought it up. And it had only been a couple of weeks that we were back from our trip. And then I realized, wow, I actually haven't gotten any personal mail because, Adam, it was an individual forwarding.
Just you.
They didn't forward the whole house. They forwarded Noah's mail.
Oh.
So mail was coming to the house, just not anything with my name on it.
And it was forwarded to the Columbus, Ohio address, or where?
It was Columbus, Ohio. So now this sort of cascade of things is happening with me internally about all of my bank statements, all of my investment accounts, anything tax related that might be going to this individual, and I'm losing my mind. And obviously, a big takeaway from this is go paperless on all of your bank statements and financial documents.
Well, that's true, except if you go purely digital, it's possible that someone could get you as you're operating, on the internet. The other thing, which I think is important, and I know people shudder when they think of this, but did you go to the IRS and get your PIN number?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. And I was really reluctant to do that. And I'm telling you, and anytime you call up Equifax or Experian, first thing that they ask for is your social security number. And you just you tremble at the thought of giving that out to anybody. It was very difficult to deal with the post office and get that resolved. And I had to go to the post office inspector online and fill out a report, and then you get a case number with that as well. So I've got the police case number, I've got the post office case number, and thankfully, at the end of the day, the post office was pretty cool, and I was able to talk to my individual mail carrier here. She told me what happened and told me it was resolved, and I've got my mail back. They did not tell me anything about what they were going to do about it, or how anybody's going to follow up on how it happened or what's at that address. So obviously I'm Googling this address like crazy, trying to figure out who lives there. And I've come to find that it's a young guy from Ghana. And then I come to find that there was a recent bust in Columbus of an identity theft ring that's being run out of Columbus by a bunch of guys from Ghana. And it was a Columbus and San Diego operation where they were buying cars and basically shipping them to Ghana and selling them over there. And it was really elaborate, but it didn't really satisfy my need to know why this was still going on. So I mean, obviously that's very, very circumstantial layperson have information, but you become so obsessed and you want the information and you want to know what's happening and who these people are that have violated you, like, and rocked your world completely to the point that you can't work, you can't do anything until you are satisfied like your life is completely under control and not exposed. And also, obviously, you want to know what happened. Like, how did these people get my driver's license? How did these people get my credit card? Credit card's easy. Driver's license, I have no idea. Social security number, no idea.
There was the company that does emissions tests for the state of Connecticut did get breached last year.
No kidding.
The information included VIN numbers, social security numbers, names, and addresses.
What about driver's licenses?
Yep. But yeah, there's a class action suit, so if you're part of that, you can sign up for it. But that could be the smoking gun here.
But also could be the trumpet fanfare for like, yay, and then he lived happily ever after because he got to join the class action suit and get a check for $5.75 after the lawyers get super rich off of it.
Right.
Maybe I know the lawyers.
Well, then
you never know.
Better yet.
Better yet.
So I think one of the things that's really interesting is when I am trying to correct some of these things, specifically the credit card issues, and if you don't have a bank account with Bank of America, for example, you're not going to get on the phone with anybody at Bank of America. It's that simple. You can't do an online chat. You can't report fraud. You can't do anything without a bank account number. That's the first thing in the automated phone tree that will get you in or prevent you from getting in.
Well, wait. I know with a lot of these financial institutions, they will ask you for either a credit card number or a bank account number.
I don't have either one of those things. What I have is the knowledge that someone opened a Bank of America credit card in my name. It's on my credit report, but I don't have the account number. Okay, so I'm in a frame of mind right now at that time where I don't know who I'm talking to on the phone. Oh. And I'm in such a paranoid frame of mind. I don't know if I'm talking to a fraudulent person or what. I'm just talking to these very robotic people. I wound up going down to the branch where I live and speaking with an actual individual. That was the only way I was going to have any sort of security feeling. Like, I want to talk to a person.
You're absolutely right. And here's something else that we found in a lot of cases. Bank secrecy or privacy protections also apply to the person who stole your information and open a credit card in your name. That's how crazy it is.
Right. It's true.
as this story unfolds, and again, we thought you were one of the most locked down people in the world, and my sense is this has nothing to do with you. It's just simply that there's information out there about you, and people have to really grok this, because so many people go, nobody cares about me. Well, the truth is, yeah, they do, because you got something they want, and once they get it, they're going to turn your life into a living hell, because they don't care.
Right.
It's not their problem if your life is disrupted. Yeah, when we say it's not a question of if, but when,
Yeah.
this is the ultimate illustration of the point that they will ultimately find you when they get to you, and they will do whatever they can. They will exploit you in any which way they can, and they don't care.
But it's so unfair.
really
This is supposed to be Roy.
Jeez, I wish it was Roy. No offense, man.
I will have to say, though, Adam, that it doesn't sound like Noah had it all locked down. And if I'm wrong, I would love to stand corrected here. But Noah, on your Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax accounts, did you have your credit frozen when these crimes were occurring?
No, and that's a completely fair point. Never occurred to me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else. You slipped in a tiny little nugget about closing your computer down at night.
Mm-hmm.
Never did that either.
Yep.
So, there are a lot of things to know that you need to do. Unless it happens to you, or you are a subscriber to this podcast, you don't really think about it that much.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. But, if you've had a leak in your house ever, the water can be coming from anywhere. Mm-hmm. And so you get into this mindset of really trying to lock it down. Like, could it be if it's, you're going to do the roof, you're going to do your flashing, you're going to look for trouble around the soffits, you're going to really look and make sure the siding is sound. But if you haven't had a leak, you're not going to do that.
Right.
No, it's kind of like, in particular, your irrigation system, right? You think you got it, and then somewhere else is wet, even though you shut your system off.
I hadn't actually thought about it that way. It's because you're in the desert. I
have an irrigation system.
That's why with an irrigation system, especially in Arizona, if you don't have an irrigation system, even the cactus are pissed off at you. But it's a thing where it's like, when they say you got to shut off all the water, we have to pressure test and figure out where this is.
Yeah.
Well, this is when you lock down your credit, when you get those credit freezes, it's not 1,000% for sure, but it's about 90% sure that you're going to keep pretty much most people out.
Yep.
So Noah, at this moment in history, do you feel safe? Do you feel like this is under control, or you still feel like that sort of knot in your stomach that, what's the next shoe?
A sort of a balance of both of those things. I'll never feel secure again, like completely peaceful about it. But I do feel like, knock on wood, the worst of it's over. I feel like I dodged a little bit of a bullet because there was no great financial loss to me. There was a lot of attempt, but I wasn't on the hook or trying to mitigate somebody who had rung up $10,000 or $20,000 in my name. So that's sort of a small silver lining. But I'll never feel easy about anything. I mean, anytime I talk to someone on the phone, anytime I have to give out a social security number, it's going to be traumatizing.
Well, and not only that, but think about, and this is, our listeners really have to think about this when they weigh, do I really want to do all those things that are going to protect me between passwords and credit freezes and two-factor authentication? Is, in your case, as an example, Noah, your time is valuable. This is costing every time you divert from A, living your life so you enjoy it, B, whatever, the work that you're doing, family time, all of this is valuable. This is money. It may be spiritual money, but it's money.
When I spoke to Noah, when this was going down, I've known Noah for, we haven't been in touch the whole time, but I've known Noah a long time. But the thing I'll tell you is I've never seen Noah shaken. And you were shaken by this to your very core. It was, you told me when I said, I had someone who might be able to help you, were like, well, how do I know he's who he says he is? And I know that feeling because you don't want to authenticate yourself to anyone. And I thought, Adam, I actually thought that was a brilliant move to just go to the brick and mortar establishment and say,
that's it.
I know you work for this company now, and I got your name. And so if I get screwed with again, you're going down, buddy, because you do feel like Bruce Willis in a vigilante movie. After this happens.
Bo, did you remember an earlier episode with Joyce where somebody was attacking her online during her mock?
Yeah, and her husband, your friend.
And her husband, Jerry, went down to the Chase Bank branch in town.
Slammed the brakes.
Immediately.
Yeah. So that is, I had never thought about that being a strategy, but it does, you're a man of action, Noah, and that was the right move. That was absolutely the right move. I will say this, though. We put a pin in that envelope a while ago. Rita took the pin out and brought it over to you in the middle of the show. And I want to just look at that envelope for a second because, that envelope was the glitch in the Matrix. That was the one piece of information you had that was capable of at least opening your eyes to the fact that something was afoot. And the other piece of this is the one thing, the glitch in the Matrix, it's great if you can see it. But the better thing is if you have your credit frozen, because Adam knows when I got scammed, when an identity thief had my social security number and was trying to do things with it, I got my PIN number from the IRS, my annual PIN, and I get it the day that it's released. That's always what I do. I have it in my calendar to get it when the day they make it available, and it's a repeating thing in my calendar until the day I die. The other thing that I can tell you is that because my credit was frozen, I would come into Adam's office every time I got one. I got like 20 or 30 letters. They wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop. It was like Adam with the ratings on the show. They wouldn't stop trying to get credit.
Ratings.
So, yeah, if you haven't rated the show yet, Noah, please go on Apple Podcasts and give it 5 stars because he really does like them. It makes him very happy. But
even Bo, even if Noah can contact the guy that stole his identity, maybe he could give us a rating too.
So I'm looking a little bit more into this data breach that compromised the information from the Connecticut DMV. And not sure if this is going to make you feel any better, but the CEO of the company that got breached said he apologized for any inconvenience.
Oh.
So
wow.
F him.
All's forgiven.
The healing process can now begin.
It's so weird to me that never made any sort of news headlines around here. I certainly never heard about it. And it's complete news. I've never heard anybody talk about that.
Well, the term is breach fatigue, just because for so long there's been so many data breaches, so many places getting hit with malware, so many records showing up in the dark web that it's not quite as newsworthy anymore.
Everybody is suffering through breach fatigue. Everybody. They're just so tired of hearing about all the different breaches that it becomes like white noise. And the point of all of us not only on this show, but all of us in space, is you can't be fatigued. You really have to understand this goes on every day, and however bad you think it might be to be a victim, it may not be even half as bad as you think it is.
You got to be like the person who's walking the marathon, but just finish, just keep going, even if you're not jogging anymore.
An interesting point is also that, do we get breathing fatigue? No. I mean, and so the whole concept of cyber hygiene, protecting ourselves as well as we can, understanding that our data is most likely out there due to data breaches, which have become the third certainty in life, is that we need to keep breathing. Well, you know what? We also need to exercise cyber hygiene, best practices. Our whole lives, because there'll always be somebody out there, always, that is going to try to find one crack or crevice, because we have lives, and for these folks, we are their life. We are their day job.
Okay. Wow. That was so unexpected. I bet there's a lot of people out there who do not understand credit freezes, and specifically, I bet you that they could worry like, well, this is very difficult, or it seems like a pretty harsh measure to take. Like, surely I don't need to take so much caution when it comes to my identity. Adam, what do you think about credit freezes? Are they really that hard?
I think credit freezes are really important, and it's not something you do instantly. It takes a few minutes. You need to go to the websites of each of the 3 credit reporting agencies, because each one has a little bit different twist on what you need to do. And unlike a fraud alert where you go to one and it's automatically transmitted to the other 2, this one really does require you to show up at the reporting agency websites and follow their instructions, not only for your credit, but also for your children's credit, which is so important to do.
Yeah. And the other thing about it is I can tell you, because I use credit freezes, that the different companies do have a slightly different system. And what I do, and everybody's got a different way of keeping their stuff safe, I keep the information about how I have a zip drive that I call...
Don't tell us what you call it.
I call it the defroster. And it is, I keep the defroster in my safe, and it's actually, so it's just a zip drive. It lives in my safe. I have a safe, and
sometimes you live in your safe, but we don't talk about that.
Well, that's when Guinevere's mad at me. But the it's just safer in there. Anyway, I keep it there, and the reason I keep it there is because I did once get locked out. I froze myself out of my credit, and that took actually a day to undo. So you don't want to freeze yourself out.
No, that's true. But in response to the other question, which is, what is it? What does it do for you?
Yeah.
It really protects you against someone opening new accounts in your name, which is very important. What it doesn't do is it won't lock up existing credit cards that you have. For instance, a credit freeze doesn't do that. But what it does is any time that someone is attempting to open an account in your name, or they need for someone to actually go and look at your credit for whatever is going to be done by that individual or that credit extender, that it's frozen even as to you, unless you unlock it with the password PIN that you use in order to do it.
So when you open a new account, though, this is a little tricky, because I recently got a mortgage and I had to do this. What I would do, and what you can do, is you find out from the person pulling your credit which agency they're pulling it from.
Yes,
because they know. Yep. And then you open that one, and when you open it, you unfreeze it. You can go to there's a special portal for doing it. And you can set the time, and you can literally, if you want to be a hard ass about it, say, hey, I'm going to open it from 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. on this date. That's your window. Get it done.
it's great to be able to say to someone like the biggest bank in the world, hey, my credit's going to be open for 30 minutes. And they're going to go, that's nice. But we're gonna go and look when we want to go look.
No, that's not true. They actually did it. No, but you have to set it up, and you do have to say, like, I take this stuff really seriously. When I send my wire, I'm going to call you. You have to understand, because you still have a personal touch nowadays. There's still somebody who's in charge of your account. And that is, I make it clear from the get-go when I'm doing business with a bank, I'm very paranoid about this stuff. I am going to be exacting, and I'm sorry in advance, but you're going to have to jump through these hoops.
I find it almost erotically arousing to hear you speak in such draconian terms when referring to trillion-dollar organizations. But it is true. I mean, if you have a good relationship with someone at the institution,
manager,
that's good. But you really need somebody. It's not like you're going to call the customer service rep on this one.
No, but it's not like you're Rocky Balboa in Rocky 1 leaning out the window going like, I'll call Paulie and tell him you're going to be home later. Hey, Paulie, he's going to be home later.
Yo, Adrian.
You're not calling the bank like, yo, bank. You're calling a person, so you can ask.
But the appropriate word is ask.
Yeah, you have to request, not demand. It's true.
That is correct. Demanding doesn't work.
Nope, people don't like it.
Gets them very upset.
They do. You have to be a nice little bunny with your paws up like so and ask nicely with your nose.
I can see Travis is actually looking sad just when he hears you demanding things. He's not like that.
I don't think so. I thought he thought the bunny was cute.
Maybe so.
I mean, bunnies are cute, but yeah.
But I'm
so listen, speaking of asking, I'm not going to sing. I'm not singing. I am not singing. Bo's singing. We're asking that if you found this episode incredibly exciting, scintillating, and terrifying at the same time,
and informative,
and you feel a kinship with Noah, whose ark almost sank through no fault of his own, we'd love you to come to wherever you get your podcast and leave a rating, because that helps people find us. And
what do you mean a rating? You mean like just give us 5 stars and say we're awesome?
That would be awesome if you gave us 5 stars and said we were awesome.
Okay. Well,
that was the gentlest ask I think I've ever heard you make for this.
Wow, he's starting to ask. He's starting to ask and not demand.
I'm becoming the kinder, gentler Adam.
The podcast rating bunny.
And with that, we're going to freeze this podcast. And we really appreciate you spending your time with us today.
What the Heck with Adam Levin is a production of Loud Tree Media.
It's produced by Andrew Stephen, the man with 2 first names.
You can find us online at loudtreemedia.com and on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Adam K. Levin.